Nick, what did you have for breakfast today?
Man, you're gonna embarrass me. I had wilted broccoli.
Okay, so this broccoli diet, more or less, that you're on.
Yeah, I've been doing it for like
I know
a year.
you've been doing it a long time, and I remember a time where I was sitting right where your desk is now. Well, maybe a little bit this way, and you were going on and on about this wild new diet you were on, and I'm like, it might work in the short term, but it's not going to work in the long term. You're like, yeah, but if it's not extreme, I won't do it. The way I am, the only diet I'm going to do is if it's extreme.
Yeah,
and I've remembered that. And you have stayed consistent with your extreme diet, So are you officially on like a broccoli diet? Or is broccoli just the only vegetable you'll tolerate?
No, I love vegetables. Here's truly what happens.
Good. You're not a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, no.
You'll survive on meatball subs.
Oh man, or chicken nugget. Dude, the amount of high school and college student age kids I know that are like, yeah, I must just eat chicken nuggets. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You didn't get spanked for not eating your carrots? What the heck? No, so here's what it is. You go to the grocery store. You get out 4 heads of broccoli. You go home, stick them in the fridge. In the morning, I go, crap, balls, shoot. I got to be at work 45 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm not making bacon and eggs, okay? I'm grabbing a head of broccoli. And then here's the other thing. I had heard on a podcast that the act of chewing releases something in your body that's like really good for it. It like gives a lot of positive signals to your body. And I am a rushed eater because I'm lardy. And I'm trying to not be lardy. So
I normally just gums through his breakfast pizza.
Eating broccoli and not chewing it all the way. I can't even refute that sentence. Eating broccoli in the morning, it would hurt my stomach if I don't chew it all the way. So I literally, every bite, I chew very thoroughly till it's mush. And then I swallow it, and then it doesn't hurt my stomach. And I have that and a coffee and a water with Element. I've had that basically every morning. Occasionally I did carrots, but carrots actually will hurt my stomach a little bit. So I've done that.
You're the most food-sensitive individual I know.
I'm so food-sensitive, dude. I'm so food-sensitive.
Carrots hurt your stomach, huh?
Yeah. In the morning, like if I don't have anything else in my body. Yeah. Otherwise, they're fine.
I think Riley's the least food-sensitive person I know. The dude eats 7 pounds of mixed nuts every week.
They're legumes, man. Good for you. It's good source of fiber.
The Riley food plot mix.
Okay, honestly, like, could you do the math on how many mixed nuts you've eaten over the last 5 years of your life?
I go through.
Do you buy the big tub from like Aldi?
I go through, I think, 2 tubs a month. So that'd be 4. I probably eat like 30 or 40 pounds of nuts every year.
Okay. So hundreds of pounds over the last 5 years.
Probably, yeah.
That's
I would say so.
Crazy, man. Yeah,
it's good for you.
I wonder who eats more nuts a year. A 2.5-year-old whitetail buck or Riley?
Well, you know what? The peanuts are ready all year, whereas those acorns only drop for a certain time. So
oh my goodness.
I'm sure I got to beat.
Peanuts are nuts. They're not nuts. We talked about this.
Technically, a legume, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But an oak is not a legume.
Dude. All right, Ken, you've got some admitting to do here. Just look right at the camera.
Yeah, we're pretending that this is all like fresh content, but it's really practiced content because, well, we had a podcast, but we did not record it.
We did not.
In my defense, I'm never the guy to set up the podcast. And so I forgot to hit the record button.
Guys, what I thought it was funny. And so I said, LOL, Ken, as everyone like left, and I was like, Ken, before you leave, you forgot to press start. And because I was looking at the computer at the file. And he went, no, and like leaned over the table like he had just gotten news that his own father had passed. Like in despair, he was crying.
Devastating news.
Oh my goodness! Honestly, I've been podcasting for like 4 hours today.
I know my brain is feeling a little mushy. I want to get out to the field, but the rain that was supposed to come at 10 p.m. is starting to fall now.
Yeah,
and
yeah, you might be inside tinkering around. All right, we should get started, friends. Coffee Time Wednesdays with the Prairie Farm Podcast.
Can't hit us with the jingle.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I want to tell you a little story about our team here at Hoxie Native Seeds. Years ago, my dad and I were talking. We said, what is the point of this company? We knew that it was conservation. We knew that we were growing seed to help people, but we didn't know where we were going, what we wanted to actually do. Did we want to mostly plant on other people's land? Did we want to mostly grow native seed with high quality ecotypes? Did we want to mostly consult with people? We didn't quite know. So we spent months, literally months, boiling it down. And we came up with this goal, that we want to provide education and native seed for landowners and land managers who care about their neighbors, their investment, and the wildlife around them. Now, of course, with education, you can go to hoxienativeseeds.com, and we've got a huge native plant database. We've got a learning center. We've got tons of podcasts that you can listen to learn some of the stuff from the foremost experts. But for the native seed, that's actually what pays the bills on everything else. So if you need native seed or guidance on your native seed journey, planting a prairie or a wetland or a savanna mix or even a shady mix, remember, our goal is to help you not just with the native seed, but we want to educate you every step of the way. So we're not just going to ship you seed and ghost you afterwards. We're going to take care of you. We have people that call 3, 4, 5 years later with management questions, and we're here to answer them. That's what we want to do. But it's all paid for by the native seed sale. So go to hoxienativeseeds.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Welcome back to the Prairie Farm Podcast, Coffee Time Wednesday. I'm your favorite host, Nicholas Lirio, with your favorite co-host, Ken Boucher.
Hola.
I just wasn't ready for it. Yeah. I wasn't ready for the whitest hola I've ever heard. You sounded like an 8th grader who's convinced they
who's
can speak
learning
Spanish.
learning Spanish.
Yeah, from Rosetta Stone.
I just want to switch it. I always say, hey, like the Fat Albert thing. It's nice to do something else.
Oh my goodness. And your favorite co-host to the coast, Riley Rosendahl.
Howdy. You know what that greeting reminds me of like the aloha you get when you hop off the plane in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
Aloha. And then they put a lei around your neck.
And then some guy, some fat dude in a Hawaiian shirt turns around, look, I know Hawaiian.
And the person who's actually working there on the airport being like, aloha, you're like the 7,000th person that had to say that today.
Yeah, but I did say hola, which is a Spanish greeting. Yeah. And it actually makes me think of one of the best Geico commercials ever. It was supposed to be this like Arctic explorer in the early 20th century. You know, they're like reading his diary entry or whatever while he's trudging across through this blizzard at the North Pole. And it's like, day 471, we finally reach. And then all of a sudden you hear Dora the Explorer go, hola! It's just, what took you so long? I just love that. This is one of the greatest commercials ever. So that's what I thought of when I said hola.
Well, when I told Riley the bad news, he went, I will never forgive Kent. That was the best podcast I've ever done.
Yeah, he was like, he didn't have to be asked to speak first. He was just jumping in, chiming in. It was great.
Oh, well.
Crazy. All that energy's gone. Like, I used all his extroversion.
That took years to build that up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. This is as good as it gets.
Oh, man. Hey, before we start, everyone, we need your help. I have sent a bunch of texts asking our friends, people in the industry, do you know someone that would want to be our marketing manager that loves conservation? Look, I can go on LinkedIn. I can find either someone who just graduated college or someone with a lot of experience or anything in between. But I hope you guys understand that having people on the team that actually care about conservation goes a long ways for conservation. Mm-hmm. So while I don't not like any of those people, I just feel like if we're actually going to press forward in helping the Midwest make these changes that we are hoping to make and spending our lives trying to help the wave continue, it is helpful if they care about conservation. So if you or someone you know loves conservation and you want to be a marketing manager, what I am not talking about is I'm not talking about making a bunch of stuff on Canva or making things pretty or things like that. I'm talking about like back-end website stuff, Facebook, Google, e-commerce, copyright, some of those things, overseeing some of the
Diesel
other marketing
mechanics,
stuff.
Just the standard.
So if you or someone loves that stuff and conservation, give us a call. We do want them to be at least hybrid, like at least part of the time on site. But yeah, we need your help with that. I've said this to the team many times. I'd rather suffer through not having someone for a while and find the right person versus rushing into something and just, pick and choose. So that being said, today we are talking about this weird worldwide phenomenon we've got going on with wildfires. There's probably some clues and things going on that would lead to this that we as humans don't really want to talk about. Obviously, a few weeks ago, we talked about the boundary water fires. Those are a big deal.
Yeah.
But even in the midst of that, there's kind of some bigger deal fires going on, or as big a deal fires.
The world is on fire.
The world is currently on fire in the middle of August in 2026. We have an Oregon fire, which is, as of now, the largest wildfire that's ever hit Oregon. The second place with 2 million acres, over 2 million acres, and continuing, beating the previous record, which happened just in 2024 of 1.9 million acres. We, of course, have the boundary waters. Then
it's Ontario, really, is where most of that fire is at.
Yes. And then, of course, we talked about a couple weeks ago affecting the air quality, maybe even water quality. But the other really big one that we haven't gone to would be Europe, which I have the information in hectares here, but a hectare is a little over 2 acres. So you can multiply it by 2 points.
Nick's on this new thing where he's using British units for all the stuff.
I don't know about the hectares, but meters, guys, come on. We got to get there. I'm tired of this stupid inches thing. Yeah. Oh, man. I was helping my grandpa make cabinetry the other day, and it like all of it's done in millimeters, and you know what I mean? And so instead of...
he did all metric.
Oh, yeah. Because then you go like it, and it's not like 12 feet, 12 by, 12 and 3/5 or 3/6. That's a half. 12 and 3/8.
Yeah.
It would be like 897 millimeters. And the tape measure with it, I just like it. It's better for your brain.
Yeah.
Anyway, across Europe, they are looking at about 450,000 hectares, which is about 1 million acres have been burned. And France is getting it the worst, which, interesting enough, 42,000 hectares, which is a little over 100,000 acres, are near Bordeaux, and 220,000 people have been evacuated, which is the most civilian evacuations in France since World War II. Crazy.
Yeah.
And so, huge deal. Over 20 people have died in Europe, including a couple of helicopter crew members. But
I did hear, speaking of World War II, I did hear, to prep for this podcast, I had punched into Chat GPT, hey, give me an update on some of the details on the fires around the world. And one of the things that was mentioned was, so this is coming from AI. I usually they're pretty accurate, but I did not check the source on this. But there was some detonation of old World War II, just munitions that, maybe a shell got shot off or something, or, well, I guess that wouldn't happen, but like if a artillery shell was left somewhere, rolled off a truck, or truck got attacked and blew up most of the truck.
Or they were retreating and left everything in the spot.
Right. And there's stuff like that going off in the in the area where these fires are raging, which flashed when I mentioned this in take one, flashed Riley and me back to burning with Tim this spring, Tim Brown. And I think this could probably be a greater hazard than what we may think. Sometimes people who hunt out here at Hoxie, they're messing with their dogs. They're got gloves on. They're trying to put shells in their shotgun, and they drop one in the grass. They can't find it. Well, sometimes it gets found when we're doing a prairie burn, and we actually had one. I think it was at least one, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was more than one, but there was at least one.
Is
shotgun
it just
shell
like
that burned up?
Yeah.
Or is it's not like a big old flame?
No.
Piling up.
But I don't know how far the pellets would carry in that. You know,
Yeah.
they're not. It's obviously not being compressed inside of a rifle barrel or a shotgun barrel.
Yeah.
I would imagine it can't be that terribly dangerous unless you're like standing on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing to direct it.
Yeah, unless it was like, I bet you those pellets would fly pretty hard and fast. If it, let's say it was the primer down.
I guess so. Yeah.
And then you're pointing up at you or something, you know. And,
Yeah, that would not be ideal. I do kind of wonder because we don't do this anymore.
Nick used to just throw boxes of them out there for a little Easter egg hunt.
Well, I really like the crackle when we burned the fires. It like really made just throwing fireworks out. That would be fun. We're not going to do that, and I don't recommend anyone do it. It would just be fun. We used to burn all the trash here on the farm, right, as every good farm does, and I remember Dad being like, well, you got to watch out for those hairspray bottles because the hairspray bottles, you know, when they heat up and they explode,
Aerosol,
even if they're basically empty, just will explode and throw stuff around. So
yeah,
not good. But what is also interesting is that for Europe, this comes after the hottest summer or the hottest June on record. So it was an average. So for 30 days, it averaged 3 degrees above normal Celsius. And, you know, for every degree that you go up, there's more evaporation, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're 3 degrees across 30 straight days higher, the percentage of evaporation, because what's a hot day, like 35 degrees or something like that, Celsius? So you'd be looking at
human body, yeah, that'd probably be right because human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, which is 98.6. Yeah.
So a 3% or 2.8% increase on average across 30 days, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot of evaporation that's happening that doesn't normally happen. And then of course we have had the conversation here. We need to have an expert on forest fuel. The fire, the fire fuel, the load that's on the ground that we're desperately trying to manage, control with our own human hands. I don't know. I don't see a good sight forward. But Riley, what do you think?
I think the thing that we don't keep in mind is the lack of impact, whether it be fire. Obviously, we're suppressing fire. You've got really heavy rain events followed by really dry spells, which are drying this fuel back out. Lack of livestock around. I know here in the U.S., we talk about the lowest cattle numbers in the last, 80 years, stuff like that. And then on top of that, thank you, Kent, for getting to record because I thought of this, invasive species. The amount of invasive species we have now that we did not have, 100 years ago, like multifloral rose or...
How do those affect the fire?
Well, the load, like in understory for woody vegetation.
Oh, because it would have been like woodland, savanna kind of
if
a thing.
If it was a savanna or something like that might have carried fire in a different way or more frequently or, there's...
it might not always be a factor, but I bet it is a good chunk of the time.
Yeah, I would be really curious, with what we've got going on invasive species-wise, how that affects fire.
Interesting.
Like bush honeysuckle and...
Does that stuff get too thick for deer to get through? Because I wonder if it can deter deer from coming in and browsing, but it's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I would imagine to some extent, if it's just... I have a friend who's one of the most skilled deer hunters I know, and he would say when he's walking through a timber, he goes, whenever I walk through a little funnel or something, I ask myself, why'd I walk that way? And he's like, because if I can answer that question, that's going to tell me why a deer is going to walk that way. And so I think, they like the path of least resistance probably almost as much as we do. And so I think if something gets choked up enough, they're probably not spending much time in there.
Yeah. It'd probably take some significant growth in, because then you're going to reduce your potential available food supply and things like that.
And they're the only large, quote unquote, large animal load suppressant that we have in Iowa, right? In the Midwest.
Yeah, as far as browsing on the woody vegetation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, if we got more goats around, I think
Bring back the giant ground sloth.
That's an animal impact right there.
Yeah.
Well, we brought back the dire wolf or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not the dire wolf. What was it?
No, you were right.
That was right. The dire wolf.
Yeah. Dire
We got to be able to bring back the giant ground
ground
sloth.
I don't think the giant ground sloth's as exciting to people as
Turns out the collapse of all the Pleistocene megafauna was because the giant ground sloth was such a ruthless killer.
It's a new theory.
Just wiping everything out until they starved to death.
What would that be? Pleistocene Park. Would it be a movie? Oh man, that's it. I think that we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it's it can't be understated. I understand the argument about places not being livable because you can't make enough money to, it's I totally get that. But also the insurance piece, which a lot of times is house insurance is maybe number 4 or 5 of most expensive part of your month for a lot of people. Right? You've got your mortgage or rent, you've got your food, you've got your health insurance, and then a lot of times either car or homeowners insurance. And friends, the prairie's getting tall. It's getting time. The birds are a whistling and a chirping, and that means it is almost hunting season. So if you enjoy walking through the tall grass, pulling ticks off of yourself, and hanging out with your dogs, we highly recommend going to birdhuntersupply.com. Now, I understand if you want to be out on the landscape, you don't necessarily want to just hang out on a website, but Dr. Russ Benedict was correct when he said the prairie was actually a very adverse place, and we need to be prepared. So prepare yourself for your hunting season, your trail walking season, and your bird dog hunting season at birdhuntersupply.com. They've got everything you need for yourself on the bird hunting and everything you need for your bird dog. We highly recommend the assortment of equipment that they provide on there is extensive and far above my head, but they have exactly what you need. Not only will they take care of you in that, but they actually help take care of the land as well. When I was talking to the owners, they said, we actually donate a certain amount of money to conservation every single year. And I asked them, oh, do you have a donation button at the end where people can donate when they check out, which is really common? And he said, no, we actually donate from our profits. So they literally take their earned profits and donate that to conservation efforts because they care. They want to see the landscape have habitat and stay healthy for future generations. Highly, highly recommend birdhuntersupply.com. Even in the Midwest, where we're having climate change, which we just talked to Dr. Brian Hornbuckle, so keep an eye out for that podcast from ISU. He's not a climatologist, but he is an agronomist technically, but an agronomist that focuses on weather. Super fascinating guy.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed chatting with him. And you've got this changing in our temperature in the Midwest. And that is causing all sorts of extreme events to happen more often. Mm-hmm. And so if it happens more often, the insurance companies, literally, they just have an algorithm. It's a little more complicated, but basically they have an algorithm. How often is your house going to get destroyed? So if it happens every 20 years, you have to pay 1/20th of your house to us every year, plus a little bit of some. And if your house gets destroyed every 6 years, right? That means you're paying for your $300,000 house. You're paying for it every 6 years. You're paying $50,000 for insurance.
Yeah, no, and I just don't see anyone being willing to pay that kind of insurance because someone who had that kind of wealth is just going to be self-insured on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that I agree. I think that's the biggest, how does this affect me, type of thing is it. Eventually some of these places are just going to become financially uninhabitable.
Yeah. Well, but I wonder if it wouldn't be uninhabitable, but instead of a 1,800 square foot house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, we have a lot of 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square foot houses.
Yeah.
And not made out of
well, let's also be honest, certainly not in all cases, but a lot of times, some of the most extreme places we have to live in our continent is attractive to people wanting to experience. They have the wealth, the resources to support a lifestyle out on the edge of the grid. And those folks aren't going to want to live in an 800 square foot box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I agree.
I think when it comes down to living in extreme places, we probably need to shift our mindset in how we're building. You know, the four-corner timber frame house with plastic siding and asphalt shingles. It sells where there's not fires, but anywhere you got embers falling on asphalt shingles, I think you're going to have a bad time. It's just I don't want to tell people how to live their lives, but as these disasters continue to step up in severity, I think there's a lot of good work being done by local groups, building unions, where people are talking about what materials are we using? Is it local? How is it meeting the challenges we have?
Yeah.
You know, the one size fits all house from the Sears catalog that comes on the back of a truck.
I live it.
Maybe
one of those.
we just found a use for all the soils that have been ruined by PFAS.
From interesting.
Maybe
they turn those into little PFAS bricks that they build the houses on.
I don't know.
Dude,
I think that's jokes aside. I think that's a great point though, Riley, that we just have to look at doing these things, building them differently than what we have.
Well, we have this mindset that we exist outside of nature, but really we're just as beholden to it when a wildfire happens, you know?
Yeah. It is interesting that the universe is constantly fighting for equilibrium among all things, like perfect spacing, perfect mixing of everything. And we are desperately fighting to not be a part of that. Jeff Bezos says one of his shareholder letters, he was saying like, basically, we spend a lot of energy as humans to not dissolve into the universe, which is what happens when you die, right? Your body literally becomes part of the soil or whatever's going on there. And so he made the argument like we are constantly going against the flow, and we're like, hey, we're not a part of that. But I think you could swing too far, and then like I ain't a part of this nature thing, you know, and you could just live in bubble wrap. And you know, it just not be a part of nature at all, not be involved, but
all goes back to Wally,
dude. It does, man. His bodies, we literally are just fighting to not be Wally.
Yeah,
that's why I eat broccoli every morning. I don't want to lose my bones, man. Well, I won't lie to you. We've been podcasting for a long time today. And if you're really upset about how short this podcast is, I'm going to give you Kent's personal phone number.
Yeah.
You can call him. Hey, I do have two things I want to mention. To the gentleman who stopped me in the mall the other day. Super cool of you. And to the guy who came over the weekend, was traveling through Iowa. You came on the weekend and you wanted to see the farm and no one was around. I'm sorry. And then you came to our coffee shop and I was freaking sleeping like 20 feet.
You didn't get out of bed?
I didn't know he was there. I was literally sleeping.
Well, I just
biggest
so
letdown
sorry.
ever here.
I am so sorry, man. I'm pretty sure you told my wife you were getting married soon. Congratulations. Thank you for stopping. That was super kind of you. I was so bummed. I was bummed for hours. I like kept saying like, why didn't you just come get me? You know, to my wife, she's like, I was doing a job, you idiot. What? You should do your job better. Like, oh man. And you know what's the embarrassing part? It was like he stopped by like 7:15 in the morning. I was still sleeping, you know.
Oh, just pathetic.
Oh man. Well, thank you. It was I was honored and I was super bummed to have missed you. And if you get a chance to swing back through, please let us know ahead of time. I'd be happy to hang out with you.
He'd be happy to make it back up to you.
Yeah. It was a long trek for me. The guy came from states away. You know? No, I believe he was just traveling through, and so he decided to swing out. But anyway, we really appreciate you all, and we will talk to you again next time.